All right, guys, today is Thursday, September 20th, and we are back with big hot days, guys. This week has been so much fun. This week has been so exciting. As you guys know, yesterday when I went over my recap, I've been sitting back waiting for the trade that I've been wanting. I want to go over my trade, the trade that pushed me over $10,000 in profits for this month. And what was that, guys, ladies and gentlemen? That was ALT. ALT, my swing trade for the night. This stock was an absolute beast yesterday where it went from $4 all the way up towards highs of $18, came back on down, and then today ripped all the way up to $36. Incredible, colossal, ginormous, whatever you want to call it. It's been an absolute beast. Now, I did not hold ALT through this giant green day right here. If I did, I would have made over $100,000 in profits. And just the fact that if I kept holding, if I didn't sell, and I could have made over $100,000 in profits, it just motivates me more to get that $100,000 gain. I have not had a $100,000 gain before. I have not been able to make that much in one day. And why is that? It's because I lock in my profits when I have them. If I'm up $20,000, I say to myself, hey, this is, what some people work a whole entire year for, and I did it while I was sleeping, or, I did it in a few minutes. I'm okay with it. So it's very tough for me to ever get like a six-figure trade because I don't get that risky when I trade. I usually look for patterns I really like. I look for setups I really like, and then I go ahead and attack. And I like to lock in my profits when I have them. Because there's been times I've been up, $10,000 before, and then I end up taking a loss or something like that because I never lock in my profits. And to me, that's just a little unacceptable. Now, is it great if I kept on holding this all the way up towards around 38 or 36 bucks and I could have made $120,000? Yes, it would have been an incredible day for me. But I'm not upset about it whatsoever at all. So let's dive into this play and let's talk about how did I know ALT was going to be the best spiker? Because I talked about this one yesterday and I said, ALT, this is the stock I want. This is the play I'm interested in. This is the one I'm focused on. Now, I use a cash account, which means I can only trade with the money I have in my account currently. I cannot go ahead and trade more than what I have. And I like to be very, very particular on where I'm getting in on my play and what time I'm getting in on my play at. So I saw ALT start moving on up from where? From this is the first time it popped up on my radar at around $4. At $4, it got halted and ran up towards around $7, and I was keeping it on watch throughout the day. Then it ran all the way up to $10, and I was like, please don't climb any higher. Just wait until this afternoon because I want to buy it this afternoon. Then where did it start going? Then it started doing these banana crazy rips where it went all the way from what area? It went all the way from 825 all the way up towards around $18 yesterday. And I was saying, no, 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 I don't want this running now. I know this is going to spike big. I don't want this happening right here at this moment. And then what started happening? It started coming back on down. Right when it started coming back on down, boom, this is where I got filled, as you guys can see. So I got filled right here on this drop. Now let's take this back because I know I'm kind of bouncing around a little bit. I want to turn on pre-market just for a second. All right, so we can take this back and look at this play and kind of break it down from scratch. Okay, this start right here. Is there any reason on why ALT is running so big? It did have a reverse stock split a couple days ago, but that's not really giving a reason on why the stock is climbing up so big, and just taking on off. There is no news I see. I'll be open, I'll be honest. I do not see any sort of news other than the reverse stock split that came out a few days on this. Now, the stock did start U-shaping on up, and the U-shape, definitely could lead towards a nice big rip and run. But the reason on why it started, kind of ripping all the way from $4 up towards around, 5.75, I'm not 100% sure. But what I do know is that ALT is a reverse stock split. ALT is under 500,000 in float. We usually look for anything under 1 million in float, which is pretty crazy. This one's under 500,000 in float. And this stock right here was getting a lot of hype. It got halted once. It continued to rip a few dollars from $4 all the way up to $10, and it's on everyone's radar. If I see a low float stock and I see the stock go from $4 to $10, it goes on a $6 spike. Obviously, people are watching it. Obviously, people are playing it. And obviously, that stock can go on a bigger rip. I have seen a lot of stocks with low floats go on big-time climbs, big-time reps, strictly off momentum. Our press release is great. Do they lead to big-time climbs? Yes. Our press releases, great credible sources on why stocks climb. Yes. But if I see a stock moving on a low float just because of the fact that there's momentum behind it, and you know what? Fred's looking at it. So Fred buys, it moves up. Billy looks at it. Billy buys, it moves on up. Top up. I'll ride some momentum. I'll hop in on that plane and ride some momentum as well. If everyone's buying it and the stock is just continuing to climb, I'll buy some momentum right here and I'll look to, see if the stock's going to go on up. I'll take that chance. I love low float plays because they're the biggest ones we see. We look at all supernovas. RKDA. RKDA, guys, this stock went from $3 all the way up to $67. Guess what? Under 1 million in float. DXR. DXR, this stock went from $3 all the way up to $21. Guess what? 1 million in float. Look at any big breakout. Guess what? It's going to be probably 1 million or lower in float. So right when I saw this play of ALT start moving on up with a $6 spike, I'm thinking in my head RKDA. I'm thinking in my head DXR. I'm saying to myself, this could get all the way up towards $20 plus. Absolutely. It already ran, $6, and now what is it doing? It already ran $6, and now it's consolidating. Guess what? A pump and dump, guys, is going to do what? A pump and dump, if I have to draw it out for you, is going to get pumped on up, and it's going to dump on down. Guess what a healthy stock is going to do? A healthy stock is going to run on up, come back down a little bit, but then consolidate and move sideways. A dump heads back on down, which means there's no reason behind it whatsoever. If the stock consolidates, what does that mean? It means it shows strength in the play. If a stock consolidates, it means that it's basically resetting itself. It's showing that the stock is not going down. People are willing to hold this play. People are willing to buy at this play to hold this as support. The stock's not falling at all. Pumping up goes straight back on down. And guess what? If ALT went up towards, let's say, $4 to $6 and dumped back on down, it's garbage. But the fact is that this stock went on a rip, came back on down, consolidated, then started moving on up. It shows strength. It shows that there's buyers that want to play this stock. And that's where we get this next leg on up. So I was waiting for this next leg on up in the afternoon. As I said, I'm on a cash account. Why don't I want to trade early? Because I wanted to swing this play. I was dead on with saying I want to swing this play because I've been seeing a lot of big time breakouts overnight and multi-day top gainers. I didn't want to hop in at 1 o'clock because 1 o'clock is still what? About 2 hours and 40 minutes short, or right around this 115, 120 mark. That's still, almost 3 hours before the market closes. We could possibly see it spike on up and then drop back on down. Usually when I like to play a swing, I usually like to hop in on it with maybe only 10 to 15 minutes left on a play. Because why? Because then I'm right next to the closing price. The last thing I want to do is hop in, let's say at, $8 and the stock fall back down to $6. And then overnight, all I'm trying to do is make my money back, right? That's not fun. So I didn't want this to spike here. I wanted to spike maybe in power hour or so. But ALT went on this massive rip and massive run. And now it went all the way up to $18. And I'm saying to myself, I'm not chasing this play. I'm 100% not getting in on this play if it just went from $8 to $18. I can't get in on a stock that went on a $10 straight up spike with no red candles at all. I just can't do it. You can't chase a play, right? So I said, let this come back as far as it possibly can, and then I'll look to get in. So a stock just went from $8 to $18. It just went on a $10 spike. Where can I look to get in? Maybe off a $10 bounce. If it gives back, $8 worth, if it's $10, that's where a lot of buyers are going to definitely start coming back on in. And fortunately enough, it did. It gave back a lot of this. Now, a lot of traders are saying, Dek, why don't you just buy at 818? It's closing off strong. If a stock closes off with a $10 spike, what do you think is going to happen in pre-market or after hours? There is a huge load of sellers ready to get out. We want those sellers out, and then new buyers can come on in for that stock to continue to climb and continue to move on up, right? If a stock has already made a giant spike, get ready for it to take a break. Get ready for it to, come back on down. I was giving the example right here. If you have a marathon, you run 26 miles. You don't want to do what now after you run 26 miles? You don't want to run another 26 miles. You probably want to take a break. You probably want to lay down. You probably want to, watch a movie, right? You want to relax. That's basically the sellers coming on out. It's not like you run 26 miles and now you're saying, oh, that guy just ran 26 miles. I want to put my money on him. He's probably going to run another great 26 miles. He's probably going to collapse any moment. You want the stock to kind of get all its sellers out. It's not just going to be able to continue to run up forever. If I fill up a balloon all the way to its breaking point, just because I filled it up pretty good doesn't mean it's going to not be able to, explode. It's probably going to keep on, it's going to probably break in the next few moments if I keep filling it out. But if I crush all the water out and then start filling it up, I'll be able to fill it all the way back on up again. So I don't want to be able to hop in on top of a play for all these sellers to dump. We just went on a $10 spike. There's sellers there ready to sell. Let it dump on off, and that's where the stock came back down towards around 1050. Now I saw the bounce started coming back on up, and that's where I said to myself, hey, you know what? I want to start moving into this play, and that's where I started getting in. And you guys can see I got in on a total of 4,200 shares at the price of 11.75 right there. So 4,200 shares at the price of 11.75. Stock just fell $8. It's a good price to get in on this play. Stock just fell $8. Now the stock spiked right back on up, right towards around 1683. At that moment, I was already up $18,000 with my 4,200 shares. Now, as you guys can see here, the stock did have a gap down overnight before it started going on that big time rip. And this is, again, I wasn't able to get in on this giant rip. I sold a little bit cheaper here. If I was able to hold this play, I would have made over $100,000. Now, why did I want to hold the stock overnight? Because as you guys can see, we usually do have big gap ups from supernovas. Usually after the first big supernova day, you usually have a gap up and then a big time rip. The spike came out of nowhere at 925. It was a little ridiculous. It came out of nowhere at 925. I was hoping I'd wake up and it would already be up a good amount, but I had to sit there and then I started locking in some profits. But again, you can look at a lot of different plays. Let's see right here. RKDA, you got the gap up and the big time spike, and even on this big time spike, you got a big time gap up. You can look at DXR right here. Let's see what we have here. Just again, okay, so we got our big time spike, then we have a gap up, big time spike, and then again another massive gap up from 13 bucks all the way up to 1760. So big time spike right there. A lot of these plays, a lot of supernovas, they lead to big time spikes the next day. So that's what I was betting on. And then from there it just went bananas. It just took on off. So I had 4,200 shares at 11.75. Happy with my profit. But at the same time, knowing I could have made over 100,000, a little stinger. But that's kind of a little bit like arrogant, I guess, to be like, oh, I could have made over over $100,000. And when there's some people like, Deck, I didn't even make anything, or I didn't even swing it. So I mean, I'm happy with the trade. I cannot complain. But at the same time, it only motivates me to be better at it. It only motivates me to get after that six-figure trade. I've been able to make over my whole entire monthly goal on this trade, and I'm very happy with it. I'm very excited with it. It's been an awesome play. It's been an awesome ripper. It's been an awesome runner. It's only the start of September. You guys already know as well all the other plays that we were seeing today. NBEV, was able to go on a massive ripping pre-market. This stock came out with great news this morning over on NBEV. And as I say, wake up early, ladies and gentlemen. You are sleeping away profit. Someone taps you on your shoulder at 7 in the morning, says, I'll give you $1,000 if you wake up right now. Guess what? You jump out of bed. So why is it any different when a press release comes out at 7:15 in the morning? And if you're awake for it, guess what's going to happen? You get in at $4, you sell it all the way up at 640, and you make a few $1,000s. Then go back to bed. You'll probably sleep a lot easier. Right? NBEV has been an absolute beast. NBEV came out with a press release saying what? That they're working on a cannabis drink, a drink that has to do with cannabis, and that's marijuana, pot, and guess what's been the hottest thing in the world lately? TLRY. TLRY. Right now, again, everyone's loving this whole entire cannabis, marijuana, pot, weed, whatever you want to call it. This whole field right here, as TLRY has been making headlines left and right, as the stock went from $20 all the way up to $300. So that's been an absolute beast. AWSM. Again, AWSM, this has been an awesome stock today that a lot of you guys were able to bank on this play. Where AWSM right now is just all you had to do is play a trend line. Just play that trend line over on AWSM. You guys will be able to make some big time profit, some awesome rips right there. This is going to be a very hot fall. This is going to be a very profitable fall. This is going to be your time to trade. I want to see everyone making money. I want to see everyone attacking it, and I want to see everyone coming out on top. It's not about me here. I don't care how much money I make right now. You know what? I want to see how much money you guys are going to make right now. I can make money in the stock market. I want to teach you guys how to make money in the stock market. That's why you guys are here. And if you guys have questions, that's why I make these videos. That's why I live stream. That's why I mentor. So there's no such thing as a stupid question in my eyes. But again, great job today so far. NBEV, Javik, $213 in profit. Who is this right here? To do Scotty, what, $1,000 on ALT to 254 there. What do we got? 287, 183, 2,000, 4,000, 77, 2,000, 2,000. 696, 6K on a paper trade. It's okay. That's awesome. Still 927, 1,800, 831. Awesome job, guys. All you guys making some big time cash over there. Get ready for upcoming hot plays. As I said, if you didn't trade today, no matter what, who cares? There's going to be more plays coming up in the future. I can guarantee it. Just be ready to rock and roll. I'm very excited to work with you guys. I'm very excited to see you profit, but I always want to go over my reasoning. I just always want to go over my credibility. I want to always talk about why I hop into the play so you guys have the same mindset I have the same thought process behind your plays, because I want to teach you guys. I want to lead by example. So just want to always show you guys everything so you guys are all set, ready to rock and roll. And if you need anything, please let me know. Awesome job today.